Okay, so we are going to add this rational expression. It is a beast. It looks like this. All right. So, remember our very first step when we're going to add or subtract rational expressions is to, number one, common denominator. Okay, and then if they obviously don't have a common denominator, you need to factor it. Okay, so looking at the top here, we've got several polynomials in the denominator. We got a perfect square one, it's a difference of squares, and we've got two trinomials. So the first thing we're going to want to do is factor all three of those. Okay, so x squared minus 4 turns into what? X plus 2 and x minus 2. Okay, so now these two we can use our box methods to factor those. Okay, so if we're going to do the box method on this middle one, we have an x squared in the top left corner and a 2 in the bottom right corner. If I multiply across my diagonal, I'm going to have 2x squared. I need to factor this so that the factors will add up to be the middle number, and that's a negative 3x. Negative 1x, negative 2x. And notice that because both of these are negative, both my factors have to have a negative number coming out of it, okay? So that's the first thing you need to do. Okay, so negative 1x, oops, undo. I'm not sure why it did that. Okay. Okay, so I'm going to have a negative 1x here and negative 2x. So what can I factor out of the top? An x. What can I factor out of the bottom? A 2. Left side. Right side. 1. So my factors here are x minus 2 and x minus 1. We want to do the same thing for this one. Top left corner is an x squared. Bottom is a negative 2. If I do the diagonal here, I have a negative 2x squared. And I need to find my factors of that would add up to be a negative 1x. So it's going to be a negative 2x and a 1x. Correct? So what can I factor out of the top row? Bottom row. Left side. Right side. Okay, so I have x plus 1 and x minus 2. So now we know all of our factors. Okay, I need a common denominator. What is my first term missing?
X minus 2.
It's got an x minus 2.
X minus 1.
It's missing an x minus 1, so I know I have to multiply by at least an x minus 1 on top and bottom. And what else? An x plus 1. So I also need to multiply this by an x plus 1 on top and bottom. Okay? Look at my middle one. What is that one missing that I need to multiply top and bottom by? Okay. X plus 2. How about the second term I'm missing here? X plus 1. Okay, and my last term, what am I missing on that one? X plus 2. And x minus 1. So, we know what we need to multiply by, now we just got to do the mechanics of it, okay? So this first one, we've got 3 terms that need to be multiplied. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and put these two together first, okay? So 2x times x. 2x squared minus 2x. And I still need to multiply that by x plus 1. Okay, so you can FOIL that. That would be 2x squared times x, which is 2x to the third. 2x squared times 1 is 2x squared. Now, if I do the same thing with this one, negative 2x times x, negative 2x squared. And negative 2x times 1 is negative 2x. So does anything cancel out there? Yep. Yeah, these two terms. So it'll be 2x to the third minus 2x. That is all going to be over these 4 things right here that we found earlier. So if I'm just going to write it out the one time, and then I won't write it out for the other 2 terms because it's a lot of writing. All right, so we need to do the same thing for this. X times x is what? If we FOIL that out. So it'll be x squared. X times 1 is x. 2x. And then 2 times 1 is 2. So what can I put together here? Okay, so x plus 2x is 3x. Now, notice I didn't do anything with that 1, but 1 times anything is itself, right? So this will be that. Plus, I'm not writing out my denominator again, it's too long. Okay, it's still there. Remember, it's there, I'm just not writing it out. We have this granddaddy now to multiply out. Okay, so let's FOIL these first 2 first. So we have, and actually that will be exactly what we got before, right? So we're going to have x squared plus 3x plus 2. That needs to be multiplied by x minus 1 yet. So x squared times x, x cubed. X squared times negative 1, negative x squared. Huh? Do you remember doing this? I'm multiplying this by this and this by this first. Okay? Now I'm going to take 3x and do the same thing. 3x times x. 3x squared. 2x times negative 1. Negative 2. Do the same thing with the last term now. 2 times x. 2x. And then 2 times negative 1. Negative 2. So, oh, right here. Yep. Yeah. Okay, so there we are. So I can put these 2 problems together and these 2 terms together, right? So I have x to the third. What is negative 1 plus 3? 2x squared, yep. And negative 3 plus 2 is negative 1. And then I have minus 2 here. Now we have a common denominator. We need to add them up, but one little thing we got to look at before we add them all up. Notice we have what here? So what does that do to all my signs on here? So this becomes a negative, this becomes a negative, this becomes a negative. Okay, and we'll make this a plus. Okay, so 2x to the third, what can I add to that one? I know. This could just be the one question that would answer everything for the next two terms. Okay, so 2x to the third plus x to the third is 3x to the third. How about x squareds? Yeah, we got a 2x squared minus an x squared, so that makes it just an x squared. Okay, we have a negative 2x, a negative 3x, and a negative x. That makes it a negative 6x. We've done those now. And then I have a negative 2 and a negative 2. That makes it a negative 4. All over this. So you guys can see why I call this the granddaddy of all problems on the sheet.